What if a simple flowing symbol held the key to transforming any situation, turning fear into calm and indifference to compassion? Welcome to Personal Development Mastery Podcast, and this is another snippet of wisdom where I select my most insightful moments from previous episodes. My guest today is the spiritual teacher Hope Fitzgerald. She discusses the infinity wave, a flowing symbol of water, channeling love and compassion. In the short snippet you will listen to, you will hear her tell a very powerful story about the infinity wave. Let's dive right in.
What this figure eight made of flowing water is a metaphor, but it's also practical. So we know that thought creates reality, right? We know this. So we know we are also mostly water, right? So we also know that water has memory, and we know that water has consciousness. This has been proven now multiple times by different researchers around the world. So we have this watery shape as a means of communication. And within that water, this particular shape, this particular water, is this high level of love and compassion. It's built into the symbol. It's built into the water. So if I want to change my reality, I'm going to use this symbol in my mind's eye to imprint upon the situation and see what happens. What I'm doing is I'm sending 10th dimensional love and compassion that is not from me. It's in the symbol, and I'm putting it on a situation. And if I hadn't seen it and hadn't heard other people describe it for all these years, I wouldn't have believed it. But I'm telling you that it shifts a situation into a much higher state instantaneously. And I can give you an example. So this is something that happened at the very end of 2011, after I had followed my instructions to teach these workshops. I taught one full workshop, 1 weekend per month for 3 months. So 3 months, 1 weekend per month. And going into it, I had no idea what I was teaching. I had no idea what I was doing. I was looking everywhere on the internet for the infinity sign. Is anybody, and this is getting back to you a little bit, because I can't be the only one receiving this. Am I going crazy? Thought I was going crazy. Really, you're asking me to do something that takes me way out of my comfort zone, even though I've been a teacher, even though I've been a performer, even though I've been a director. When you ask me to teach something that is in the realm of spirituality and spiritual evolution, hello, no, thank you. I'd rather sit quietly in the back of the room. Also, because I always and still do consider myself a student. And once you get in the front of the room, then all kinds of projections and sticky stuff. I didn't want to go for it. But they were pushing me literally foot in the back. And so ahead I went. Each week before the weekend workshop, I received a download. I got these practices would come through me. I had not been a fan of channeling, but all of a sudden here I am channeling. And these beautiful practices dropped in. When I got to the end of the first full workshop and I looked back, I realized that step by step by step, these 9 practices that came in were like a blueprint for a spiritual leap. Evolutionary leap. And everybody who had gone through the program was demonstrating that. I repeated that 2 more times that year. At the end of the year, I went with a close friend of mine out to LA to do a very serious surgery that was required for her neck and all kinds of things. Anyway, she had prepared for surgery by doing hypnosis for surgery. And one of the things they do is they say, write out on a piece of paper what you want the anesthesiologist to say as you go under and come out for better outcomes. So she had that. we're waiting and waiting. We're about to go into surgery. She's all in her cap and gown, ready to go. And finally, in comes the anesthesiologist. Now, this woman who came in, middle-aged, clipboard in hand, she had on a very interesting surgical cap. It looked like a little pizza hat, kind of puffed out. Never seen anything like it, little flecks on it. Anyway, she stood opposite me at the foot of the bed. Never looked at my friend, reading off her clipboard. Okay, we're working on C3 and C4, and blah, 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 all this medicalese. And I could see that my friend was getting agitated because she wanted to hand this paper off. And this did not look like a human being who would accept this paper and let her, have these better outcomes. So I, having worked with the wave all year long, I found myself in a completely new position because I'd been learning and evolving through this whole process as well. Normally, I would have said, hey, would you mind just being nice to my friend? I would have done something. But instead, I thought, oh, I don't like this picture. I want a different one. And at that moment, I said, I like your hat. Very bland, no intonation. But out of my solar plexus was like a punch, boom, and the wave popped out of me. I didn't direct it. I just said I want a different picture. And the woman's head popped up. She looked at my friend. She said, hey, babe, how are you doing today? I want to help you. Oh, what do you have for me? Oh, you want me to say this? I love to do this kind of. And she went from an icebox to chatty Cathy in a nanosecond. And both my friend and I were like, we could not believe it. My friend didn't know what had happened, but after she came out of, her anesthesia and everything, she said, did you see what happened to that anesthesiologist? She was like, I was about ready to call for a different doctor. And all of a sudden she was wonderful. So how I explain it is that the wave can bring about a sense of peace, calm, balance, masculine, feminine, all the things. But it also can pack a punch when necessary, and it has a mind of its own. So all I had to do was ask for something different, and reality changed in a nanosecond.
Thank you for listening. You will find the full conversation with Hope Fitzgerald in episode 388. The link is in the episode description. If you enjoy this podcast, think of one person that would find it useful and share it with them. I appreciate you. Until next time, stand out, don't fit in.